I guess I should take my actual hat off to make the effect of the nurse hat look proper. There, I got a nurse hat. Whoa, hey, where you going? Find my actual head. Thank you. I'm a nurse now. Yes, I'm a nurse. Why am I a nurse? What the fuck? Okay, I'm a nurse. I'm not a nurse. I'm done with the fucking nurse effect. Clear effect, please. The reason I was wearing a nurse hat is because I feel like a fucking nurse. Everybody in my family's sick. You know, it gets fucking old as shit. I hear the argument all the time, you know, the problem of evil. I have had direct fucking experience with the problem of evil of, you know, why the fuck does God allow all this fucked up stuff to happen to people? He allows good people that have been loyal to him their entire lives, I might add, never having doubted him, believing him 100%, still end up getting cancer, still end up going into comas, still end up with everything wrong with them that, you know, that you wouldn't expect from someone who is serving the one true God that really cares about you and can make a difference in your life. So I've had experience with that. I've also had experience with this bullshit about, oh, no atheists in foxholes. They say there's no atheists in foxholes and there's no atheists in an emergency room. Bullshit. I've been an atheist in an emergency room many fucking times. And it's been recently, and it's over and over again, and I'm fucking tired of it, frankly. But and then if you check into the emergency room, which I had the pleasure of doing that a couple times, if you have the pleasure of checking in, they're like, well, what is your religious faith? And when you say none or non-religious or something like that, they still put you down as fucking Christian. And so I'm like, I don't have a preference. I don't have a religious preference. And they're like, okay, Christian. And I was like, no, not Christian. You got something that says non-religious? And they're like, And I was like, how about atheist? Do you got one of those? I was like, I do not want to be bothered with Christianity while I'm trying to get good medical treatment for my ailments. And I could tell she was a fucking Christian because she had a fucking attitude after that. But that's besides the point. The whole point of this video, and the point of me wearing the fucking nurse's hat, was to basically explain why I haven't been making videos too much lately. It's been a difficult year for my family. My dad ended up getting diagnosed with cancer several months ago, and with cancer, he went through all the treatments and he's doing fine now, but the problem with cancer is you don't know if you're really doing fine until it either comes back or it never comes back. So we don't know if he's fine or not, and we won't know for several years if he in fact lives that long because he's not doing very good. My mom, after my dad had his bout with cancer, as soon as he was given the clear that he could stop his cancer treatments, my mom and him decided to go on a vacation for 2 weeks. And so they went on vacation. Now, a couple weeks before that, my mom fucking fell down and couldn't get up. Just like in that fucking commercial with the lady. She literally fell and could not fucking get up. So that's how old and feeble they're getting right now. It's really hard and difficult to watch, someone that you used to see in their prime go downhill like that, but it's just part of life. But so she fell down and she couldn't get up, and luckily I happened to be in an area of the house where I could hear her screaming. My dad was next door, but he doesn't even sleep in the same room. He sleeps in the room next to her because he snores too loud and keeps her up. So he's completely deaf almost, and she's screaming as loud as she can. He can't hear. Luckily, I'm home. I'm here. I'm able to hear. I go up there and, pick her up off the floor. And then, a couple weeks after that, we're going on vacation. Oh, goody. Great. What could possibly go wrong? So they're on vacation and everything's going great and everything's fine. And in about, a week into vacation, my mom says she's not really feeling good. And so they decide to cut their vacation short, and they're just going to drive home the next, take a couple days to drive home. they're gonna, just skip half their vacation. My mom's not really feeling good. On their way back they were like, they drove one day and they went to a hotel that night, and my mom fucking would not wake up the next morning. My dad was flipping the fuck out. He called the emergency, called 911, got the fucking ambulance, got my mom to the hospital. She fucking slept in a coma for the next fucking 3 months, where while everyone was wondering if she was, I didn't know if she was brain dead or not. They were talking about pronouncing her brain dead, and they were talking about pronouncing death and all this shit. And then I didn't hear anything for a couple days, and then all of a sudden I hear she's not gonna be dead, but she's in a fucking coma, and she may be in a coma forever. We don't know how long she's gonna be in the coma. And so my dad's out of state, in a completely different state, halfway across the nation, and I'm here, taking care of my son and taking care of their house alone, and not knowing if my mom's gonna be fucking coming, if she's ever coming home from vacation or not. I had a lot of time to deal with, with these questions of, what do you do in, these circumstances as an atheist. And it's true, you don't have the fucking God shit to fall back on to just make you feel better. I could see how bullshitting yourself at these times might actually make you feel better. It's temporary because it's not real, but I can see how it might make you feel better. It's not going to actually help anything. You can't, there's literally not a damn thing I can do. My mom's halfway across the nation in an emergency room in a condition that I have no fucking business trying to, help with. I have no fucking idea how to take care of someone in a fucking coma. What the fuck am I supposed to do? The best thing I could do is stay here and take care of all their animals, because my parents love animals. They got like 10 fucking animals living at their house. So I was here taking care of the animals for them. That was the best way I knew I could help. But so then my parents had to take out a fucking $10,000 loan, because it would be better for my mom to have to fly back home to be taken care of in an emergency room than to have my dad, living halfway across the nation without anything, trying to fucking be there and take care of her and help her. And so we ended up taking out like a $10,000 loan, like I said, to fly her from where she was to our state and get her in a hospital. And she stayed in the hospital. She basically missed an entire season this year. She missed the entire, well, she kind of missed summer and fall because she was in the coma for several months. But she's basically lost half a year. It's just skipped over for her. She doesn't, everyone else has a whole memory of what was going on and how hectic it was while she was in the coma, but she just remembers, waking up one day out of the coma, and then all of a sudden, what do you mean it's this date? That's fucking, that's like 3 to 4 months in the future. That doesn't make any sense. Oh shit, I was in a coma and wasn't aware for them 4 months. Now it makes sense. But yeah, it was pretty fucking hectic. And then after my mom gets out of the hospital, I basically became my parents' nurse for, until she got better. It took a couple more months for her to get better. And she couldn't walk, and she couldn't, get up or do anything or go to the bathroom by herself, so she needed help. And I was, the most able-bodied person there, so I helped. And she, she's doing a lot better now. She's able to go about her daily life almost, back to almost completely back to normal at this point. It's a miracle as to the, the ability in which she was able to recover, which I know people are going, oh, it's a miracle. No, it wasn't a fucking miracle. It was just, she got better. Thank goodness for that. Not thank God, because if God had anything to do with it. And of course, my mom's real religious, so the first thing she does is like, oh, well, The only reason I'm alive now, I should have been dead, but the only reason I'm alive now is because God decided to put me into a coma in this specific city, and this specific city happens to have a coma treatment center, and so I don't know how many of those there are in America, but I assume there's a few of them. And so because God decided to strike her into a coma right then and there in that particular city next to that coma treatment center, that therefore means that God was looking out for her. And I tried to be gentle. I was like, well, if God was really looking out for you, he could have just, prevented the coma from occurring in the first place. But she's, I hate to say it, she's just an old person that's stuck in her beliefs, and I don't think she's even told me that, from a logical standpoint, God probably doesn't exist, but she prefers to believe anyways because it makes her feel better. And it's like, I don't have a fucking argument for that. If you think, believing in, Barney the dinosaur makes you feel better, okay, fine. I can't argue that it doesn't make you feel better. I got no fucking argument against not making you feel better. I can't prove one way or the other whether or not something's making them feel better. That's something that's completely internal. They could be, who knows what's going on inside of another person's mind. I don't think there's any way to prove that, because they could always be fooling themselves or trying to fool everybody else. They could be acting in a way that's contrary to that, that doesn't betray what they actually feel on the inside. There's no real way to know how someone really feels on the inside 100%. Just like there's no way to know anything 100%. Even though I know plenty of Christians that will tell you they know 100% there is a God. They know it for a fact. You cannot dispute it. Undisputable. It's the undisputed champion. So anyways, no, the story is not done yet. The story of the nurse hat continues, because after I help my mom completely recover, my dad's doing okay. Seems like things are finally on the up and up, right? Right? No, wrong.